Welcome to the channel. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at some of the new features for the Waypoint update for No Man's Sky, which was released on the 7th of October 2022. Now the reason I'm making this video is twofold. One, just to show you guys some of the new changes. Also, I want to start a new playthrough. It's either going to be survival or permadeath, and I think given the extent of the changes to the UI and some other elements of the game, I thought what I need to do is actually just play around with it in order to be familiar with it, because if any of you have played No Man's Sky, the initial couple of hours can be quite hectic and you don't really have enough time to stand around and think, well, how does this mechanic work or that mechanic. So this video is just going to be taking a look at some of the what you could call key survival features. So this isn't going to be a comprehensive breakdown of an update. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of other people doing it. The other thing, as a bit of a heads up, is that I've read the patch notes, but I haven't really played anything, and this is very much a first time me coming in based on what I've seen in the patch notes about what have been the most recent changes. So that out of the way, let's just start with the basics. We've got a new okay, thank you, game. I've seen a picture of this, but we got filters. What's this in? Archive technology package. Now I did read in the patch notes about this, because as far as I can tell, you can't now put technology in the cargo area because it's all been consolidated into one. If any of you played the game prior to this update, there was like two areas. You had the normal suit inventory, and then you had a cargo area. And what seems they've done is they've consolidated it all into one area. We can craft products, but we can't install technology. Okay. We're off to a non-flying start, and it looks exactly the same for ships as well. That's going to be interesting. So I've got all sorts of technology here. Teleporter receiver package, and that's all been decoupled or something. We're going to need to look at that. Now there are extra slots being added to the multi-tools, but I'm not 100% sure that you'd actually be able to expand that, because some multi-tools have their own limits. But it looks like we've now got some extra squares on the end there. Freighters is very much the same. What have we got here? Factory overrider unit. You can only install technology in the technology area. That's going to make item transportation enabled. Thank you, game. Right, well, we've got a way we can test this, because there's a new tech called a trade rocket, and I certainly want to look at that. Also, if you look round and see that the anomaly, and I think quite a lot of the game graphics have been reworked, but I think the anomaly's been given a little bit of an extra makeover to make it feel a little bit more atmospheric. And what we're going to do, I suppose we could talk to those bots, but we won't bother. I'm sure this has been reworked as well. I think this is the egg sequencer. It looks a bit kind of steampunk now, doesn't it? Come down here. Now I guess that actually let's just work our way around and see if there's any new text being added to the exocraft. No, I'm not seeing anything there. Osmotic, no. I'm not seeing anything new there. If any of you guys spot something new that I missed, feel free to chuck it in the comments. More power, faster. Search multi-tool upgrades. Pulse splitter ricochet module, where I don't unlock those because I don't like them anyway. Not seeing anything new in here. Right, what we got here? Traveler new suit. Research. That's it. We got the trade rocket here. We need 2 wiring looms, tritium and dihydrogen. See if we can install this thing on this exosuit. Got no space there. So what we got to do is install something here. This is going to be interesting. What's this say? Move technology, store technology. Did I? I'm not sure what I did there. So you can move things in and out. Okay. We can now install technology. Here's our trade rocket. I must admit, I kind of like and dislike this, the idea of this, because it means that you're going to have a lot of things in here stored which you may want to use. But at the same time, it means that, say, for example, that you're going to go on a cold planet, you could pack up the heat support and put the cold support on. Same as if you're going to go swimming. Rather than having it permanently installed, what you're going to have is the ability to switch these things in and out. Okay, so we've got percentages that tells us what is in there. We've got a rocket there, and the rocket needs tritium. It says to summon trade rocket, use X, but of course I doubt very much we'll be able to summon the trade rocket here. Have a quick look at the... I doubt very much if anything's changed here, because this has been the focus of many other changes over the time. Not seeing... what was that? Stripes? No, I think all this is okay, fairly normal. Wings of Glory, research ship upgrades. We got a cargo scan deflector, a specially tuned resonance jammer designed to interfere with the remote cargo scans deployed by system authorities to search for smuggled goods. Okay. I'm not sure whether that is actually new or been around for some time. I have to be honest, it's been a little while since I've played No Man's Sky from the perspective of kind of looking at every other mechanic. I play it, but I normally play it just to go out and do a bit of exploration. Whoops. Let's have a quick look at this message guy in the Nexus. This hasn't changed. So that's the changes to the inventory. The next thing I want to do is look at discoveries. This hasn't changed, but I like the backdrop actually. You've lost connection with online discovery services. Thank you, game. So this is here. All visited systems, GEC systems. Was there a filter before? Is that new? Uninhabited systems. I don't remember seeing that filter before, or maybe there was and I just wasn't aware of it. This is always the problem when you get a new update. You start to look very carefully at menus and you see things that you think, well, is that new or has it been there and I just didn't notice it? Right, so this is catalog and guide. It says get best friend. Okay, this has taken us into this area. It says exploration milestones. Now, originally it was 10 milestones, and it was kind of just a list. And you can see I've done most of them. So we've got 5 exploration milestones, 5 survival milestones. Now, in the patch notes, it does mention that other challenges have been added, but these are very much familiar. Although the way these are spaced out means that the other ones could be added at a later time. GEC smuggling run. I think that's new. I think this is a carryover from one of the expeditions. So it looks like there's potential for them to be added to here. And then you get a standing best friend. Vakeen. Obviously we haven't done much with the Vakeen on this one. Walkers destroyed. I think that looks like it's new. I mean, the rest are pretty standard. Standing mission complete, words learned, systems visited. But that looks new. Nanite clusters. Again, this looks like a bit of a hangover from the expeditions mode as well. Merchants Guild. Standing missions complete. Units earned. Plants farmed 5. So we're only a forager. Rare treasures looks like it's new, so we've actually dug up 3 rare treasures. One thing I will say about these missions is I wish Hello Games would push them a bit higher, you know, because it says Magna total earned 91 million. I think these could go to a much higher level. What we got here? Missions complete, Sentinels, pirates killed. I think that's familiar. Horrors eliminated. We killed 250 horrors. Wow. Of course, one of the problems with the merchants and mercenaries and explorers guilds, you didn't get this breakdown as such, or not this, to this level of detail anyway. Plants catalogued. Okay. And then we've got, that's just the log. Actually, what we can do is, oops, I don't think it's meant to do that. And what we got here, so these are just the catalogues. This is just very much. Now there is something about recipes and plants and stuff like that that you can crafting components. Yeah, there is something that says that recipes, collected knowledge, monolith, ancient plaques. Okay. Recipe to recycle method. Finer recipes. Complex. I think this might be the place where you can actually see the recipes. See, this is single ones, but I think if you got refiner, obviously none of this is filled in, but I think what they're supposed to be able to do is if you say you've got a complex thing and you click on there, and then it gives you a breakdown of how you do that recipe. And I think so. I think the idea is that instead of trying to remember them all, you can, if you're not sure about, say, a simple refiner one, you can't see what's in here. But I'm assuming that once you've done a refinement, I mean, we could always test it, I suppose. Let's just see what we're going to do. I think we. Oh no. Actually, let's just test the autosave. If you jump out, you actually get a restore point. Options. The restore point is the manual save now, and the reload autosave is the same. So when you jump in and out the ship now, you actually create 2 save games. Interesting. I'm going to test that. I mean, this is the type of stuff I need to know if I'm going to play survival mode. What we're going to do is just dive into the freighter. Wow, that's a bit more visual than it was before. Hello, Mr. Geeky Guy. Oh, the jetpack's been enhanced as well. Oh, what's this? That's changed. Okay. So that's a little bit more different than it was before. Right, there's a manual save here. This is what I'm looking for. Save point. Yeah, so we got an auto save from jumping out of the ship. That was a minute ago. And the manual save and the jumping out of the ship now is combined as a single restore point. Wow. These are the storage containers. I think this save hasn't actually been updated for the new freighter layout. Actually, it's what the game has done is it's just changed things. Right, let's just go into the large refiner. Trying to think of a recipe that we can do quite quickly. Right, let's just We come to catalogs and guides. Recipes. We need something with 2 components. Let me just try and find something. Right, guys, I'm just going to try and work out, try and remember a recipe. Well, my mind's gone blank a little bit at the moment. Oxide, carbon, and... Right, so we've now got something that's sodium nitrate. We'll just do that. Okay, we'll just stop it. Or we'll just let it run. Doesn't make any difference. Yeah. So it actually tells us the recipe here, but I'm sure there's complex refiner recipes as well. And cooking ones. Because there's like a diagram in the release notes. Anything else? Let's have another look down here. So... I don't think anything's changed here. So we're just going to come down here. That's most of what I want to look at. Just to finish this video off. I don't want it to be too long. One thing I do want to check is great conundrum of the game. Where's the space station? Now, there's supposed to be some special asteroids around as well. Actually, let's go and have a look at the asteroids. What's that? That's gold. Not sure what that's silver. That's tritium. I mean, I like the texturing on the asteroids. Explosions are definitely a lot more impressive than they were before. Okay. Oh, Sentinel interceptors on their way. Well, they've definitely changed the effects on the entry point. There's actually like shadows on the landing pads now as well. The one thing I am interested in is up here, because this has been in for a couple of updates now. Life support stable, commercial online. Nope. I know I haven't got the necessary attributes, but just have a little bit of a look round here. Everything looks a lot sharper. I don't know if that's me or because again, when you do a new update. Okay, let's have a look, see if there's any changes to the... I doubt very much if this has been changed now. I doubt very much if this has been changed either. Oops. And we'll just scoot across to the trade terminal. Actually, we can look at the mission guy and see if this is changed. Everything definitely looks a lot sharper. Except gift. Okay, that's the... met the wrong one. Okay. These look very much the same. It's just that you've now got a highlight with the missions. It says get mission. Is that because he likes us so much? Where the explorers don't like us so much. Okay, let's have a quick look at this. And this is very much the same. And I think what I'd like to do is we're going to go and try out that trade rocket thing. Where's my ship gone? There it is. So here we are. We're just coming down on the planet. And we're put down. Again, everything looks a lot sharper, a lot more clearly defined. Yeah, no, thank you. Well, we better not hang around then. Where is my rocket thing? I'm presuming Summon rocket in. Nope. Install. Right, it's bound to be in the X. Oops. Right, let's see where if we can find the rocket thingy. It's up there. We got to charge it first. Okay, can we? How do we summon it? Whoops. Gold top tip, don't stand underneath it. Taking its time. Pretty cool looking though. Whoops, nearly fell over. So let's just put some magnesium in. It actually tells you what you're going to get for the different items as well. So we'll just chuck some junk in anyway. Salvage data, 1.3 million. Wow. I think it's going to take a little getting used to doing things. Yeah, I might have to finally, you have to learn how to use the X key. Right guys, there's just one more thing I need to look at now, and I've deliberately left this to the end. This is the difficulty settings. I've already had a look at these, and the reason I've left this to the end is that this obviously is a prelude video for the new series. I just want to go through the different options. Now this option is that it allows you to change settings within the game. So as for example, I'm survival mode, but you can go to relax mode and change that there. And I think there's creative, normal, but you see there's no permadeath mode here. It's just survival mode. And one thing I've noticed is not every value can be changed. Like, and it makes sense, like the inventory stack limit, standard, restricted, hard. Obviously you can't reduce your stack limits if you've got your inventory packed with items which are bigger than what that would be. So there's some restrictions there. The interesting thing I've noticed is with survival mode, which we're in now, there's actually levels above survival mode. So like this scanner recharge challenging, the save deleted, if you click here it says cannot select permadeath, so you can't change to permadeath within game. You've also got here purchases expensive, enemy strength challenging, reputation and standing gain challenging. So this is what's making me a little bit nervous about playing permadeath mode, because if there's a level above survival mode, and I'd like to play with these settings, but I think maybe playing with these settings, because I don't know how strong these actually will be, and because I don't know how powerful these are, I think going to permadeath might be a bit suicidal, to be honest. The other thing also is, I can't remember whether this is an option, but what could happen now if you get attacked or you take environmental damage? It actually damages your technology within your suit. So what we got here, scanner recharge, technology areas, technology damage here, none, minimal, challenging. Now this technology damage, if you see here, there's here installed technology modules enhance and product of the exosuit, starship and exocraft. However, extreme environmental and combat conditions can cause these modules to become damaged. This setting scales the probability of breakage in stored technology when receiving damage. What that means is that now, besides where before the only way you could get your technology damaged was by going through black holes, and I think you could get it damaged if you were killed, or I think the ship took some damage, but that now applies to all your tech. So now that applies to all your technology you got installed. That could be quite crucial in the early part of the game, because say for imagine that you've got a scanner and then you take a bit of damage and you lose your scanner and then you've got to repair it again. That could be quite an interesting capability. But the rest of them are more like in-game challenges, enemy strength challenging. I can imagine this here. While exploring planets, you may occasionally encounter hostile creatures planetly armed. This setting scales the difficulty of much of combat encounters. The other interesting one here is actually predators on. I must admit, I didn't realise that if you played at a lower level, the predators weren't switched on. Anyway, guys, these are the settings. Actually, what I might do is start with permadeath, and if I get killed too many times just trying to get started, then we'll drop back to survival mode. Right, I think this is where I'm going to leave it. I hope you enjoyed this quick overview of the new Waypoint update. As I say, hopefully I will get the actual new start out in a day or two, because another thing I want to do is give Hello Games a chance to put in some patch fixes, because I know that there are already some bugs in the game from what I've seen on the forums. So until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.